when I said to start the regular season that even though we have all these seedings and everything, that the NBA regular season still feels somewhat Mickey Mouse to me. Yeah, I've been validated in these NBA playoffs, specifically on the Western side, because the East is what it is. Yes, the Knicks went up 3-1 against the Pistons, and oh my God, there was Miss Foco, and the referee made the 2-minute report. Who cares? The Knicks are the better team. Nobody wants to see the Pistons continue the fight against the Knicks. Let's just get this over with because Jalen Brunson's the best player in the series. Currently, Towns the second best player in the series. The Pistons are a fun story. They're not a great team. Now, so are the Knicks, and they're not going to be able to challenge Boston anyway. Who whoop-de-doodle. Boston lost the game to Orlando. They're going to win tonight. They're going to advance. Milwaukee, obviously, Damian Lillard goes down. Again, who cares? I don't think Milwaukee was winning this series with Damian Lillard. I feel bad for Dame because he has not been the same player that he was in Milwaukee, that he was in Portland, which, by the way, I always said I thought he was a little bit overrated in Portland. Made one Western Conference Finals, never won a game there. Obviously, got swept by Golden State during that 2019 championship run the Warriors made with Kevin Durant and crew. And by the way, Durant didn't even play in that Western Conference final. So Giannis is great. Tonight will be his last game. I predict in a Milwaukee Bucks uniform. I've been saying this for the last few years. The Bucks have gone on a downhill trajectory ever since they won the championship. Giannis is a very good player, but in order to save his image and in order to get back in the talk with Jokic and SGA and Luka Doncic of being a top basketball player in the world, in my opinion, he has to leave Milwaukee. And then for everybody who said, "Oh my God, Heat culture, Eric Spoelstra, look at what the Heat did to the Cavs in Game 2. Could the Cavs be in trouble?" Folks, I tried to tell you since freaking November, the Cleveland Cavaliers are the deepest team in basketball. They went on three different 12-plus game win streaks this season for a reason. That reason being, they are, without a doubt, the best team in basketball. And I'll tell you one thing else. Remember last year when I said I thought the Cavs should trade Darius Garland? And all you people went, "Oh my God, let's see if Darius Garland can work together. I really like Darius Garland. He's a great player. And look at what Kenny Atkinson has done. He's made Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland work together." And while that's true, folks, the last two games, the Cavs have annihilated the Miami Heat without Darius Garland on the court. And I think you can make a real case that Evan Mobley is becoming a superstar right before our very own eyes. Jared Allen, who all these Cavs fans wanted out of here after last postseason after he refused to take an injection. And I defended Jared Allen. One, because the Cavs had no shot. Two, because they had the worst head coach in the history of basketball, J.B. Bickerstaff. I can't think of a bigger upgrade in coaching when you go from J.B. Bickerstaff to Kenny Atkinson. This Cavs team is on an absolute roll. Indiana's got nice players, as I keep mentioning. Neesmith, Tyrese Haliburton, Miles Turner, Pascal Siakam, Nembhard. They're not beating the Cavs. If they're lucky, they get this to 6 games. Cannot wait to see 1v2 Cavs Celtics Eastern Conference Finals after Boston did some wipes on the floor of the New York Knicks at worst 5 games, though I am predicting a sweep. The Western Conference between the Lakers and T-Wolves, where I am shocked that Minnesota is up 3-1. Because going into the series, listen, Minnesota to me, I thought was a 6 seed for a reason. Yes, they got odd at the end of the year, but I thought they were too Anthony Edwards dependent. Julius Randle has always struggled in the postseason. Yet here comes the bane of my existence again, Naz Reid. Remember the infamous Naz Reid game last year, game 1 at Denver, when he made like 7 threes? Then he did it again in game 7. All of a sudden, once again, here comes Naz Reid on both sides of the floor, damning the Lakers season. And Dante DiVincenzo, who was on that previous mentioned Bucks team that I mentioned in 2021 when they won the championship, he's knocking down big shots. Jaden McDaniels, he's been known for his defense, but he's been incredible on the offense side of the court. And down the stretch late, even though the Lakers have LeBron and Luca, who no disrespect to Anthony Edwards at this stage in time, especially after what I watched in last year's Western Conference Finals. Going into this series, I said I'll take LeBron and Luca over Ant, and Ant has outplayed them in this series, and that's the biggest difference in this series. Yes, the Lakers are lacking height, but Rudy Gobert has not been instrumental in this series. I would argue in 10 of the 16 quarters in this series, the Lakers have outplayed Minnesota, and they could be up 3-1 right now. They just can't close deals. And now, obviously, they're in dire straits. I do think they'll go out. I think they'll win game five in Los Angeles. And it all comes down to what I believe would be Thursday or Friday night, excuse me, would be Lakers T Wolves game six in the Target Center in Minnesota. Because even though Minnesota won a game seven in Denver last year, again, we'll see. I think the Lakers are a very talented team that just go in stretches. They obviously need Austin Reeves to do something other than a little bit of a spurt in the third quarter. The Rui Hachimura came along in the fourth quarter. It was too little, too late. LeBron and Luka are out here playing 45 minutes. JJ Redick only trusts about five guys. LeBron at age 40 is flying around more than half these cats still in this league. And yet again, it seems like he's got no help. John Moran said he'd figure out Oklahoma City until we got, or whatever, Memphis. You weren't a real playoff team. I don't care if John Moran got hurt or not. You needed to close that deal in game three and get it at least back to OKC for game five. They obviously did not do that. Who cares? Oklahoma City is going to be winning fresh in the wings, and it's a sad thing because the Denver and Clippers, whether it was the unbelievable buzzer beater by Aaron Gordon in game four, which was oh so close to not being a buzzer beater, they're finally getting Jamal Murray healthy and going to go along with Nikola Jokic. Michael Porter has been on and off. When he's on, Denver has a real scoring punch. And again, Kawhi Leonard and James Harden have been mostly healthy and productive throughout this postseason. I wonder the longer the postseason goes, how healthy Kawhi is going to be and how productive James Harden is going to be. And the Clippers are deeper. They're probably overall better talented. But again, as great as Kawhi Leonard has been, game two, obviously, he was a machine. I still think Nikola Jokic is the best player in this series. I've said it all along. This series has felt like a 7-game series with a team with home court in game seven would win it. That's where I'm going here. I think we're 2-2 going back to Denver tonight. I think we'll be 3-3 going back to Denver for a game seven. And then Golden State, Houston. Listen, I predicted Golden State to win the series in 6 or 7. 6 games is looking more likely. I think Houston will win game five. I think Golden State will probably win game six and wrap up the series. Jimmy Butler, trash talking, Van Vliet, calling him a bitch. Along with Anthony Edwards and LeBron getting physical. And again, the Knicks Pistons series getting physical, and Denver and the Clippers battling each other on the loose floor. The own crowd environment's been fantastic. This is real basketball, not 63 point shots and 130 points being scored per game in the regular season. How about games that are, 105 to 1 under or 110 to 107 or even in some instances 98 95? The NBA playoffs are a completely different sport in this postseason, and that's what we're seeing. Golden State, Houston, Lakers, Minnesota to me should be two very similar series where the old dogs, aka the Lakers and Golden State, the young cats, Houston, Minnesota, sort of feel like a year away, though it's the opposite in both series because Minnesota got their playoff experience last year. Houston did not. I think that's the difference. Listen, Jimmy Butler basically fell on his ass. Let's be honest. I'm not going to use gustatory bruise or whatever butt bruise term they use. Let's be honest, Jimmy Butler fell on his ass and it was sore and he missed game three. And Buddy Hield and Kuminga and Draymond and everybody else came along with Steph Curry for the ride. And then Fred VanVleet, who was the Golden State nemesis in that 2019 finals, maybe one of the oddest and most random one-off championships ever. the 2019 Raptors. He was fantastic last night, and Sengun did his part. Problem is, Jalen Green and Ahmed Thompson did not go along with those two guys. And then obviously, Sengun misses the hook shot attempt over Draymond Green late. Draymond Green is a top 3 defensive player of the year participant for that reason. Unfortunately for the Warriors, again, it depends on who wins that Minnesota Lakers series. I did not pick them to beat the Lakers, so I actually think the Lakers may be an easier matchup for them than going up with Anthony Edwards, Naz Reid, DiVincenzo. Like, I think Minnesota may be my biggest miss of the postseason this year. And let's be real here. I think it's very plausible Denver and Clippers are going to beat each other up, softening up each other for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Golden State needs to try to wrap up this series in 5 against Houston because I think Minnesota and LA could go 7. And so for that reason, the Warriors could get a little bit of a rest, especially the veteran team, right? Steph, Jimmy, Draymond could give them an advantage. But I thought the only team that could beat Oklahoma City in a 7-game series, the Lakers. I still feel that way. And yet the Lakers may be getting bounced in round 1 because of a bad matchup because Anthony Edwards is taking over the end of games in Minnesota. The West overall is fascinating. I mean, we could theoretically, if Houston comes back on Golden State, obviously I mentioned Lakers come back on Minnesota. We could, in my opinion, get 3 game 7s on the western side of the bracket. And I don't even know if we're going to sniff a game 6 on the Eastern Conference side of the bracket. I could very well see this being Giannis's last night as a Milwaukee Buck. And I could see Cavs Pacers starting off this weekend. For everybody complaining and bitching about the fouling and there's an agenda and all this bull crap, who cares? What guys play for the whistle? What players decide the end of games? It's what I've always said. I think the 2-minute report where they come out and say, oh, actually, this was a foul is stupid. It does anybody no good. It just enrages the coaches, and Lord knows JB Bickerstaff gets enrages. He fights with every official there is. He coaches more like a football coach than a basketball coach. And believe me, I saw it the last few years as a Cleveland Cavalier fan. Like that clip from the Bransworth podcast? If so, make sure you go down there and hit that subscribe button. While you're down there hitting the subscribe button, make sure to also hit the notification bell so you never miss another upload. And make sure you check out all the other clips from the Bransworth podcast right here on YouTube.